Michael Russo.
Russo.
What do you do, Michael Russo?
I'm the drum tech for BadFlower.
Just BadFlower?
I've worked with a few other bands. I've worked with From Ashes to New. I've worked with Cage the Elephant, and I've worked with, who else have I worked with? I've done some small things here and there with Seven Dust and Alter Bridge and North Lane. My main gigs have really been From Ashes to New and BadFlower.
All right, what does it mean to be a drum tech?
Well, for me, I just hate seeing dirty drums, and I hate hearing not well-tuned drums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want drums to sound good, I want them to look good. The drums are the centerpiece of the stage, and I've been to too many shows where they've just looked not so great. So if I get the chance to work on anybody's kit, I want it to look good and sound good. So for me, it's, I want my guy to feel good up there playing, but I also want it to look good and sound good. So when I hear the drums out the PA in a video on YouTube or anything like that, I'm like, I did that. So it makes me feel pretty good, you know, that they sound real good out front on some videos.
Would you say it's a requirement to be a drummer to be a drum tech?
Yeah, to be a good one, yeah. You
Yeah?
have to be, yeah. You just have to, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of subjective, I feel like. Because I know guitar techs that don't play guitar, that are really good guitar techs. But I feel like in drum world...
Calling them out.
I just know, drums are just very, I mean, I'm sure guitar world, I'm not a guitar player at all.
Yeah.
But I know it's a very specific job, you know, and I feel like if you're not a drummer at all, it takes you a little bit longer, I guess, to get it. I don't know. It's just, again, I know guitar players that don't, or guitar techs that aren't guitar players at all, where they can fix the hell out of a guitar, they can tune a guitar, they can do all the technical stuff, they just can't play. But drums, man, you got to be a drummer. That's what I think. I think you got to be a drummer to be a good drum tech, because you got to just know certain things that you just don't know if you're not a player. So
Well, walk me through. Can you walk me through this kit?
Yeah.
What you got?
So this kit, brand new for the tour. It's a DW Jazz Series kit. He's a big John Bonham fan. I know we're not using traditional John Bonham sizes, but in terms of like the setup of the sound, he's a really big John Bonham Led Zeppelin guy. So we got a 24 by 15 inch kick, 12 by 8 rack tom, and it's kind of, you know, you don't see this very often, but floating floor toms, suspended floor toms. Usually there's legs. We have them hanging off of a mount right here.
So why
suspended.
the mount and not?
Honestly, man, the legs take out the resonance, so they're free floating, so they just sustain for so long and they just ring. They sound great. But we're doing two really not common sizes. We're doing 12 by 8, 14 by 10, 15 by 12. You don't see a 15-inch floor tom like ever.
Yeah.
So when we were putting together the kit for the tour, we had the 16, 18 up, but we put these up to try. We just liked how easy it felt to play around the kit. And then to get your low end that you want from having big floor toms, we have this 20 by 14 gong bass drum. And it's on legs, so it's not hanging. But that kind of like, you know, gives you the low end that you want when you would usually have a 16, 18 floor tom setup. And then we have a 14 by 7 inch matching snare. Again, it's DW Jazz Series, it's maple gum is the wood combination. True hoops on all the drums. We got Remo heads. We're going with controlled sound on the top. The Remo Ambassador Hazy on the bottom. And we're doing diplomats on the bottom, coated diplomats on the bottoms with all the toms. And then we got coated emperors on the tops of all the toms. And they sound really, really good. And again, this is a brand new kit. This is the 8th show with these drums. They just sound so good every night. And
Okay,
then,
so question, with a brand new kit versus a vintage kit, can you really tell the difference that much? And does it sound better with a brand new one or vintage?
honestly, man, I'm gonna tell you, if you know how to tune drums and you pick the right heads, I personally don't think it matters, man. I think you can just get a good sound out of an old kit versus a new kit, or a new kit, you know, like you just gotta know the right head combinations and how to tune drums.
Okay.
So, but with this kit, out the box, it sounded great, but then we added, you know, we took the stock heads off and put what he likes on, which is the diplomat on the bottoms and coated emperors on tops. forget about it, man. They sound great.
What mistake do you see new drum techs making?
Man, the little shit, I guess, kind of like making sure the water doesn't fall off the table, you know, and it splashes everywhere. Or, you know, making sure this is tight and doesn't fly out in the middle of the show. I've seen that happen a few times. Just making sure everything's ready to go, man. Really just making sure, you know, during changeover you come up and you make sure everything's prepped and make sure everything sounds good and everything's tight. And you don't want any of these being loose because, you know, you hit the china, you know, it can fly off. And you just want everything to make sure that you want everything to be tight and make sure everything's ready to roll. And yeah, you know.
So what advice would you give to drum techs that would immediately make their lives easier?
Oh man, mark your carpet. Especially
Mark the carpet.
Mark
I
your
like
carpet. Make sure the way I do it is, you know, obviously I mark where all the stands are, but to make it even easier, I go the extra step and I tape the inside of the stand so I know which ones are supposed to be facing in. And on some of them, you don't get like true directional like towards you, but like as long as you know which stand's facing in, that makes my life so much easier when I'm building this kit. And if you have a lot of stands, this kit is very easy to set up and tear down because all I do for this kit is I just close the legs. I don't gotta take off any arms or anything like that. But the way I have it numbered is I have it, you know, left to right is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I would just do is I would just number my stands. That way you just know what's what. And if you don't have memory locks on your stands, get memory locks. You know, we have memory locks on all of the stands. On the bottom, you really can't see it, but just where everything opens up in the same spot every day. Memory locks will save your life. And DW comes with that. So if you're not playing DW hardware, just saying, DW makes the best hardware ever.
So there's a drummer watching this is like, I could be a drum tech. Is it that easy? Or what advice would you give to somebody that would want to be in your position?
Tear down and set up your kit as many times as possible.
Okay.
And you get faster at just like, you know, knowing what is what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've torn down my kit so many times, but I also really, I deep dive into like the different kinds of hardware, you know what I mean? So like he uses all 9,000 cymbal stands and tom stands and pedals. And I just know the ins and outs of what those stands do and how they work, so it just makes your life way easier.
How much of it is tuning to what you want to hear and as opposed to tuning what they want to hear?
Well, every drummer is different. With Anthony, he kind of told me what he wants. He likes that Led Zeppelin snare tone, and like the toms are also kind of a mixture between what Steve wants and what Anthony likes. But my other guys that I've teched for, they've kind of just let me do what I want. They kind of just say like, you know, I just want my snare to sound high pitched and crack. I want my toms to feel like a pop kit, so I just kind of just go through and I'll tune how I like them, and if they'll come up and they'll say like, this needs to come up, or this needs to go down, I'll do that, and we kind of just go until we find what they like, and then we just stay consistent from there.
Okay.
Now I know what to listen for when we find that, but with Anthony, from the bat, he kind of just told me, he was just like, think John Bonham. So I just think John Bonham, and we got what we got. And for cymbals, he's using Peisty across the board. These are all Formula 602s. So we got a little 18-inch China, 20-inch thin crash, 24 medium ride. Or no, I'm wrong. 22 medium ride, 19-inch thin crash, 900 series splash with the rivets. So it does that little cool thing. And we got a 15-inch 602 Sound Edge hi-hats.
Love it.
And they sound amazing. I'm new to Peisty world. I'm a Sabian guy, and all my other guys have played Zildjian. But first time working with some Peisties, and I really like them a lot. They sound great.
All right. What is the most overrated drum set?
Most overrated drum set?
Overrated drum set.
I feel like anything custom. So any of those SJC kits.
Okay.
Not a fan.
Most underrated.
Underrated. Oh man. I'm gonna have to say those the Tamastar Classic Maples, man. I feel like Tamastar Classic Maple is very underrated. People like to, they say weird things about Tama, but like Tama's great. Tama's amazing. So I say
Perfect kick drum size.
ooh, man, my favorite, my favorite 20 by 18 is my favorite. So I'm gonna go 20 by 18 inch kick is my favorite kick drum size.
Perfect snare drum.
Perfect snare drum, the heaviest one you could find. So a bell brass. My snare drum collection is all bell brass snares. So one of them that I love is my Pearl Reference Brass.
Okay.
It weighs 50,000 pounds. It's heavy as fuck. It sounds great.
Do you like a snappy snare drum sound personally, or do you like a tubby sound? What's
Snap.
your snap?
Crack. I wanted to sound.
Like piccolo snare?
Nah, I wanted to have some body, but I wanted to crack. I wanted to sound real high pitched. You know, just nice crack.
Perfect cymbals, light, medium, heavy.
Medium thin crashes.
Okay.
Soft feeling hi-hats. So like if you're, I'm a Sabian guy, so I'll go like with Sabian, like the HHX Complex series hi-hats sound great because they're just perfect mixture of like thin and they feel soft when you hit them. And then crashes, yeah, like all medium thins, not in too like thick because you'll crack them real quick. But medium thin crashes and a thin china.
Perfect heads.
Evans all day.
Really, over Remo?
All day.
Okay.
Evans all day. EMAD. And Evans EMAD is the best kick drum head ever. And it's the best kick drum head ever. And then personally, I flip-flop between coated and clear. But overall, Evans drum heads all day.
What's the best way to get ringing out of drums, out of toms?
Cotton balls on your floor toms.
Okay.
And if you need to, put a little gel. But cotton balls for your floor toms for sure.
Okay.
And then for like your rack toms, it just depends on what kind of head you have. In my case, what I've dealt with, it just depends on the kind of head that you have.
This may be a loaded question, but do you have a favorite drummer?
A favorite drummer? I got a few. Can I name a few?
Sure.
Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta right now. My boy Morgan Rose, my homie. Matt Halpern from Periphery, one of my favorite drummers. Currently, I gotta pull it up. What's his name? Got a few guys like Zev, Spirit Box, great dude. And Mish from Alpha Wolf right now, like currently, he's like crushing. And then Eloy's the best metal drummer in the world. He's playing with Slipknot right now. He's awesome.
Awesome, man.
So, yeah.
Well, if people want to follow you and follow your career, where can they follow you at?
Instagram is Michael Russo Drums.
Okay.
And same thing on TikTok and Facebook is just Michael Russo. So.
Okay.
Come to BadFlower, yeah, come see us, man. We're going all over the place, and we're gonna have a busy year next year. So come see us, man.